Yo, I would like to thank you for tuning in to SSR, Saul Sneak Reviews, you heard? Um, so let's just get right into the review. This is the sneaker that I'm about to review, but before I get into it, let's go back to March 26, 1987. Follow me, follow me, follow me. March 26, 1987 is the day that the Air Max 1 was created by this gentleman right here, Tinker Hatfield. He's a graduate from the University of Oregon. He's an American footwear designer and architect. In 1981, he started off as an architect designing Nike offices. Later on, he designed numerous Air Jordan models and Nike models. This first design that he ever created, the start of it was this sneaker right here in this colorway. This is the Air Max 1 in 1987. It was, like I said, it was the first shoe designed by Tinker Hatfield. What else? This sneaker is the first sneaker that to have a visible Air Max unit right there. So just a visible air bubble. He had went to Paris and he found a building exterior structure that he was inspired by called the Les Saint Pompidou. The Les Saint Pompidou. And he got his inspiration from the building. It was just a inside out structure type building. So when he was designing this sneaker right here, that was his, they was going to put an air unit in the midsole, but it wasn't going to be visible. So he decided like, yo, let's put a window and let's let people see the technology actually inside the sneaker. So shout out to Tinker Hatfield, you heard? And like I said, when he went to, he's an architect himself. So when he went to Paris to see this building, this is the Les Saint Pompidou. It was built in 1970. The building is, like I say, turned inside out. He came back to the States and he worked with Nike technicians. And this was his inspiration for the air sole technology. And this actual building, it closed in 2025. Is going through a 5-year renovation. So from 2025 to 2030, it's still temporarily open for exhibits and to show exhibits and things like that. But as you can see in the building, it's just like a exposed structure in the building. So that's where he got the idea to expose the Nike air bubble. Tinker Hatfield right here, you heard. I'll show you another side of the building right here. This is the Les Saint Pompidou building in Paris, and as you can see, like the pipes and things like that are exposed. And it's just a exposed architect, the elements translating ideas into the design of the Air Max 1 in the midsole. You know what I mean? Alright, so now let's get into the sneaker that we came to see. This is the Air Max 1. And this Air Max 1, it was actually the first design that Tinker Hatfield designed. Like I say, he was an architect designing offices and things like that for Nike. And then years later, he drew up a graph to create what we have as the Air Max 1. Just a regular Nike script on the box, you know what I mean? Let's get into it. The Nike Air Max 1 Premium is Baltic Blue and Sesame. And the QR code is FB, F for face, B for book, 8915-400. So it's FB 8915-400. You can type that into your Google search. But boom, boom, boom. Let's get into the shoes we came to see. And with this Air Max 1, this is the first Air Max 1 right here that that I showed you. This is the first Air Max 1. So I'm going to show you Air Max 1, but just a different colorway. Boom, here we have right here Air Max 1. And it's a corduroy Air Max 1 too. So let's get into it. Take it out the box right here. This sneaker came out March 17th, 2023. Let's get into it. Boom. Right here, you heard. So this is the Air Max 1. Is the upper, as you can see, is corduroy. I think these are pretty dope. So let's get into it right here. It has hints of navy blue and the sock liner right here. And then the inside of the sneaker right here. The insole just has the Baltic blue Nike Air sign. And this is a bright blue as well. Then it has the sesame swoosh. You can call it khaki. These sneakers came with the blue laces just like this. And they also came with the khaki laces. But I just feel like that the khaki laces just got a better look on it to me. On the tongue, we have the Nike Air Max and the Baltic blue and sesame / khaki. The khaki laces and the khaki swoosh right here. And like I say, this sneaker is pretty cool because it's corduroy. And if you didn't know, corduroy was introduced, the fabric was introduced as early as in ancient Egypt, as early as 200 AD, if you didn't know that about corduroy. And then we look at the back heel tab, we have the embroidered Nike and that navy blue. And this is the Air Max unit right here. So this is the first Air Max. That's why it's called the Air Max 1 right here. What's the difference between this and the Air Max 90 is that the Air Max 90 just has more of a bigger air bubble and a little more cushion right here. So this sneaker was designed in 1987. I'll show you the Air Max 0 or / the Air Max 1986, but this was big right here. This is the first sneaker to show the visible air unit right here. And then we have just that waffle tread outsole right here in navy blue. And like I say, it was designed by Tinker. This sneaker released in March of 2023. So I think that these are pretty cool and dope. And like I say, just get that khaki. You got that corduroy upper right there. And then you just got that khaki. So it's a nice, simple Air Max, but I just feel like it's super dope with the color and things like that. I'll get into the Baltic blue right here. Baltic blue, when I did my research, I feel like it comes from the Baltic Sea. Let me see. This is the Baltic Sea right here. It borders countries like Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Poland, Russia, and surrounding countries right here, as you can see. So this is the Baltic Sea. And then the thing is that it has a bright blue right here, you know. So that's why I feel like they got Baltic from the actual blue of the Baltic Sea. And then I'll show you how blue the Baltic Sea is right here. This is the Baltic Sea. So it has that bright blue. And then this is the North Sea that goes into the Atlantic Ocean right here. Like I say, its neighbors, this is the North Sea. This is the Baltic Sea. I mean, this is the Baltic Sea and this is the North Sea, which is connected to the Atlantic Ocean. And the reason that the seas don't mix is due to salt and density, and it creates an actual barrier right here. So it actually stands out. So I would think that the idea of the Baltic blue is just that it's bluer. It's a blue sea and it's way bluer than the Atlantic Ocean, and it doesn't mix. So, you know, that Baltic stands out with this being Baltic blue right there. So I just wanted to add that right here. But let's get into this right here. This is the original Air Max. It looks like it's the original Air Max from 1987. You can tell from the wear of the midsole and things like that. And this was the same sneaker that I showed you in the beginning that Tinker Hatfield was holding right here, you know. And they had updated this sneaker too, but like I say, this is the original colorway of the Air Max 1. But what I have presented right here is this corduroy version of of the Air Max 1. So like I say, this is the original from 1987 right here. And then there's also what I see some more corduroy Air Maxes. This is the Air Max 90. This is a woman's Air Max. It was released in 2023, and it's a multi-corduroy patchwork right here. And like I say, the difference with the Air Max 1 and the Air Max 90 is just more cushioning and technology. But see if you can see. You know what? I'm gonna turn this light off to see, so you can see the corduroy, because I feel like the brightness and the light. You can see the corduroy just a little more. And like I say, these came in women's, and these was released in 2023. If you can see that corduroy right there, I think those are kind of cool. And another corduroy sneaker that I found is this Air Max 1 corduroy. It's called the Coral Stardust, and this was also released in 2023 right here. You know what I mean? So you got this corduroy Air Max and this corduroy Air Max. You know what I mean? So there we have that right there. Let me turn this light back on right here. Get back to it. There we go. And so, like I was saying, this right here is the Air Max Zero, or the 1986 Air Max 1. The difference with this, as you can tell, is that the Air Max Zero / the Air Max 1986, because like I say, the originals were released. The Air Max 1 was released in 1987. This Air Max Zero was released in 1986. And the only difference is that it has a way bigger air unit. And this was a prototype. Like I say, it has a large air unit, but it was shelved at the time due to technology being unavailable at the time to execute this vision. So they made the air bubble much smaller, you know. But later down the line, they came out with this Air Max Zero, and it was later released in 2025, same colorway and everything. So, you know, when you look this up, you can either, it goes by two names, the Air Max Zero, and then with this being the Air Max 1, or it's the 1986 Air Max 1. And like I say, this is the prototype that they can use because they didn't have the technology at the time to make the air bubble so wide right there. So that's a fun fact right here. And then this is also an original sketch from Tinker Hatfield right here, and the original sketch of the Air Max right there. So, you know, it got notes on here. The lateral view of the sneaker is showing the heel view of the sneaker and things like that, like the Nike swoosh and the millimeters, you know, on the right above the midsole and things like that. So this is pretty cool too right here to see the actual sketch that Tinker Hatfield did. And then as we talk about sketches right here, they have an actual Air Max 1 that they did for a sketch. You know, this was released in 2019. You could see the scribbles and things like that. And it was to mimic the original drawing. So I thought that was cool that somebody, you know, took the actual sketch and thought, you know, let's make a sketch actual Air Max 1. And then as you can see, it has his signature and things like that right here, you know. So we got that right there. And then before we end it here, this is just an advertisement from back in the day, in the 80s, at the Air Max 1. Like I say, it released March 26, 1987, and that's became Air Max Day since 2014. So March 26, 1987 is when the first Air Max 1 was released, and it became, March 26 became Air Max Day since 2014, you know what I mean? And if you haven't, like this video, comment and subscribe. Let me know what Air Maxes you have in your closet, or what Air Maxes do you think is the best. The 95s I know are popular, the 97s are popular. You know what I mean? And like I said, like this video if you will. I would like to thank you for tuning in to SSR Saul Sneaker Reviews, where we purchasing sneakers with a purpose, and we sneakerhead anonymous, you heard. And I'll see you on the next review. Also.